Good morning. Let Apophis begin. All right. So I want to begin by thanking the conference organizers for this special session, and particularly thank our co-chair, Marina Brozovic, who was a real champion for the session and helped organize the details of what we're doing this morning. All right. So, off we go. So we have our 2019 PDC exercise, but now we're going to get real, because Apophis is a real object and it's coming for real. What Apophis is a 350-meter asteroid that's going to come within 5.8 Earth radii. That's inside the geosynchronous distance. And the date is April 13th, 2029. And yes, that April 13th is a Friday. If you are watching over the web, and this is the first time you have ever heard about the asteroid Apophis coming toward Earth, I want to emphasize one thing, that Apophis will miss the Earth, Apophis will miss the Earth, and Apophis will miss the Earth. What we're going to have is a close shave of an object 5 times larger than Tunguska and 100 times more massive. But again, it's going to miss the Earth. But the excitement is that an object this large comes this close about once per 1,000 years. So it's all about what's the opportunity. All right, we can look at this historically in another way. This is known encounters inside half the lunar distance over the past century and the current century. There's a scale for the different sizes of the objects, and you can see Apophis dominates the current century and centuries in terms of the largest object coming closest to the Earth. All right, so the Apophis 2029 encounter is so close that it provides an amazing opportunity for study. And that is if the Earth's gravitational field tidally distorts or jars or vibrates this body at all, we'll have the chance to measure the interior strength and structure of a potentially hazardous asteroid. Imagine that, to know how these things are put together. We can, if we get any downslope movement or landslides caused by the tidal stresses, we'll understand the surface strength. If we see spin rate changes, that will tell us about the structural integrity of the object. And so we have, you can think about what an amazing opportunity this is for planetary defense and learning how these objects are put together in case we ever had to move one out of the way. And there's science in this too, and you could argue, is it science or planetary defense? But there is no argument. It's all one and the same. And I think the key here is that nature is performing this amazing experiment for us. All right, so this has been presented to the NASA Small Bodies Assessment Group, or SBAG, and SBAG has concurred that this is an amazing opportunity and encouraging the community to evaluate this in terms of its science and planetary defense opportunities. And I would like to make sure that we see the Apophis opportunity highlighted in the upcoming Planetary Decadal Survey. All right, we know a lot about Apophis, its basic physical properties, thanks to radar measurements. We know its basic size, we know its shape, we know it's in a precessing state, probably because it's been torqued on by a previous Earth encounter and rotating rather slowly. And we also have a good idea of its composition because we've measured Apophis spectrally. Its spectral characteristics match that of most of the PHA population. In terms of things we can measure in the laboratory, it's most like ordinary chondrite meteorites. So we even have a really good idea of what Apophis is made of. So to me, the knowledge opportunity and the opportunity that comes with us in Apophis is all about what happens during the encounter. And to emphasize that, I think it's all about the encounter. So that's the opportunity, this once per 1,000-year opportunity that nature is providing to us, and it's up to us to figure out how to take advantage of it. And The reason why I think it's so exciting for planetary defense is we operate in a sphere of situational awareness. And by making measurements here, we can turn that situational awareness into situational understanding. It's a great opportunity for planetary defense. And because Apophis is so normal in terms of the overall PHA population, what we learn about Apophis is going to be broadly applicable to the whole potentially hazardous asteroid population. So it's all about the encounter. We're going to hear lots of different talks, and there's many posters within this session about what some of the early predictions are for the outcomes. So stay tuned to begin as we begin to evaluate what may or may not be happening during the encounter. There's many different ideas for implementations. One of them is called MIT Project Apophis. And anyone who remembers MIT Project Icarus, it's similar. It's a student study of a complete mission implementation. You'll see that on a poster by Alyssa Earle. And I think the holy grail here is kind of like the InSight Mars mission, the opportunity for seismology at Mars and how excited we are about InSight Mars. If seismic disturbances are initiated in the asteroid, we can have InSight Apophis or InSight PHA. And so I think therein that opportunity for internal structure, internal integrity is really incredible. All right, so all that being said, I think that Apophis is going to become the new poster child for planetary defense. I think we're going to see a lot of focus on Apophis over the upcoming planetary defense conferences and more. And even this conference, Apophis is the official bling of the 2019 PDC, thanks to the little models that Gerbs-Bauer has made available. So please pick one up, put it on your desk, look at it every day, and remember that an object 10,000 times bigger is actually going to be flying past the Earth in less than 10 years from today. All right, so when Apophis comes by, and this is a simulation of it streaking across the nighttime sky, it will be visible to the naked eye. And in fact, when it's visible to the naked eye, it will be visible to 2 billion people. 2 billion people will see this asteroid streaking across the nighttime sky. So the world will be watching. It's up to us to get ready. So I'm going to close and then take questions by showing an animation created by Marina Brozovic. This is an animation of Apophis coming in through the geosynchronous ring. You'll see on the Earth's surface the sub-Earth point of the asteroid trajectory, and you'll see in the mid-Atlantic where the closest encounter, over the mid-Atlantic where the closest approach occurs. So with that, we'll hope the video works. And there it goes. Thank you. And if the lights can come down any more, that would be great.
Okay, so we have time probably for at least 3 questions. So anybody? Okay, well, could you come to the microphone, please? Maybe Andy can call. Yeah, Andy, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's go with Andy first.
All right, Andy Rifkin, APL. Thanks, Rick. I know you've been a tireless advocate for this for a little while, and I agree that there's a lot of potential for both public interest and scientific interest. I think the devil is going to be in the details, so to speak, and what specifically we are hoping to get out of this. There's geophysics that could be gotten out of it, but arguably it could be gotten out of other types of missions to other asteroids that allow a more controlled experiment rather than something that's going to pass close to the Earth and we don't want to mess with. So we have to be pretty specific about what we are hoping to do at Apophis. I know this is an overview, and so you probably didn't have time to get into that, but that's going to be the trick is understanding what science we get out of this, and then it should naturally rise in the decadal survey to be something that everyone agrees we should do instead of going in the other direction.
So thanks for the comment, and I completely agree. It's And to me, it's all about what is the natural experiment? What do these objects naturally do? And can we capitalize on that and learn something from energies that are probably beyond anything that we could ever impart or would impart to an object?
Oh, okay. Thank you. Curious, wouldn't it be sensible to put a pinger on this thing since it's going to come back in a few hundred years?
Well,
And you would know its orbit better?
so well, maybe we'll hear some mission concepts about having a transponder on the thing
Okay.
and tracking it further. Maybe there's one here.
Hi, Rick. Carol Raymond, JPL. Since Apophis has been by the Earth before, and as you said, maybe has been disrupted somewhat by that, the question is, do you expect then that what you're seeing in terms of the interior structure may not be as representative of a broader class? Or how could you relate it to other PHAs and other asteroids versus it's its own thing?
That's a great question, and we need the dynamicists to weigh in. But I imagine that objects that ultimately find themselves impacting the Earth probably have made close encounters over the past. And so in that way, Apophis may be quite representative of the population. I don't, and as I said, I don't expect 2029 is the first rodeo for Apophis. I think it's been by before, and that may account for its current shape and its current spin state. Thank you, Al.
Probability of one making an impact on the very first pass through is just.
Okay, so that to those online, from Al Harris, retired JPL, is that objects will like this probably make multiple Earth passes. They're unlikely to hit the Earth on the first time they're around. It may be the nth time around for Apophis.
Okay, well, I think that's all the
All right,
time we
thank you
have
very
for
much.
this one. Let's thank Rick one more time.